Hey friend, if you're visiting Zion National Park, here are the 10 things you can't miss on your first visit. My name is Ash. I'm a former park ranger and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes. I'm also a Utah native, and so you will find me in Zion National Park at least yearly, sometimes more. And so I am here to talk to you more about what I think you shouldn't miss on your first visit to Zion. There are lots of things you can do, but these 10 things will make sure that you have a really great, well-rounded visit and that you're able to hit the top spots in the park. The first thing you don't want to miss is the Emerald Pools Trail. And this trail is a very popular trail in the park, but it takes you to basically 3 different pools of water. There's also a waterfall here that you can walk behind. And so it's a really fun, family-friendly trail and one that I love to do with my kids. This trail is actually made up of basically 2 different parts. You've got the trail to the lower pool, and then once you get past the lower pool, you can go up to the upper pools. And so then there are 2 pools up on that section of the trail. The trail to the lower pool is mostly flat. It's really family friendly. This is the one that takes you to the waterfall that you can walk behind. And so a lot of people like to just do the lower pool and then turn around if they're not looking to do the full 2 miles of the whole trail. Once you get beyond the lower pool, that's when the trail gets more challenging. You'll gain more elevation. You're going up more stairs. And it takes you to 2 more impressive pools than the lower pool. And they're kind of tucked back in the alcoves. It's really pretty. What's cool about this hike is that you're in the middle of a desert and Zion is very dry. You've got all the big red rock cliffs. It's so beautiful. But to have some water there with a lot of greenery, a lot of foliage around it is pretty unique and really beautiful. The Emerald Pools Trail is located along the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. So you'll take the shuttle up into here. You'll disembark at the Zion Lodge, and then you'll find the trail across the street. Number 2, the Riverside Walk. This trail is really nice. It follows along the Virgin River. It's mostly flat, it's wheelchair friendly, and so it's a great way to orient yourself into this section of Zion Canyon. This is a really nice area to just have a stroll along the river. It's about a 2-mile round trip trail. And it's mostly flat. You're tucked in along the cliffs, and so you get beautiful views of the river and of the surrounding red rock cliffs. The Riverside Walk is also the starting point for the Narrows, which is another popular trail we'll talk about in a minute. So a lot of people will do those combined. You'll find the Riverside Walk at the very end of the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. So you'll take the park shuttle all the way up to the Temple of Sinawava, disembark there, and then you'll find the Riverside Walk right there. Number 3, the Canyon Junction Bridge. Okay, so hear me out on this stop. It's not something that you'll typically hear about or see, but you will see a lot of photos of this spot without really knowing where it is or what it is. So I think it's somewhere you can't miss. Let's talk about how to get there. Okay, so the Canyon Junction Bridge, honestly, I don't even know if that's really what it's called, but that's where it is and that's what it is, so that's what I call it. Basically what you'll do is you'll take the park shuttle up to Canyon Junction, this stop right here, and then you'll just see the bridge that spans the river right along the highway here. And you just get gorgeous views of the Watchman, which is a giant monolith that's very imposing, that's very recognizable. So you get really great views of the Watchman with the Virgin River in the foreground. And so it's one of my favorite places to photograph Zion. It's a great place to go at sunset. It's gorgeous. So I definitely think you shouldn't miss this stop. Another way to get to the Canyon Junction Bridge is to hike along the Patriarchs Trail, which is a paved and mostly flat trail. It's also the only dog-friendly trail in Zion. It's a bike-friendly trail, so it's a really nice trail that just follows the river. But you can take that trail up to Canyon Junction and get up there and see the bridge that way as well. Okay, so again, as a reminder, just on the map here, so your Canyon Junction Bridge is right here. It's along Highway 9, but you will either need to hike up to here via the Patriarchs Trail or take the shuttle to Canyon Junction to get here because there isn't parking right here by the bridge. Number 4, the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel. So this tunnel is really cool. It's blasted through the rocks and it has like windows that you can look out as you're driving. It's a very historic tunnel. But this tunnel is also what I remember most about my trips to Zion as a kid. And so it's a really fun place to stop. It's got some memories and nostalgia for a lot of people. And it's just really fun as you're traveling from the main part of the park out to the east side. So this tunnel was completed in 1930, and at the time it was the longest tunnel of its type. There are viewing windows carved out so that you can see beautiful views of the Great Arch and the canyon below. This tunnel is 1.1 miles long, and so it's really cool. We like to try to hold our breath and see if we can make it. I've not made it yet. One thing you'll want to note for sure if you're driving a larger vehicle like an RV, that this tunnel, because it's historic, it is actually quite short, and there are large vehicle restrictions in place. If you have something large, what they actually have to do is they stop traffic on both sides of the tunnel and they let you drive through the tunnel down the middle. And so that requires a special permit. You can only go through at certain times when they have people there to coordinate that. So you'll definitely want to check out the Zion website if you will be driving a larger vehicle through the tunnel. The Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel is located along Highway 9, and so if you're coming through the park here and you're coming up to the eastern side of the park, you'll hit the tunnel right here as you make your way towards the east entrance. Number 5, the Canyon Overlook Trail. This trail is probably the most adventurous trail if you have really little kids with you or if you're not looking to do a lot of hiking. You are going to have a blast on the Canyon Overlook. Okay, so what's nice is the Canyon Overlook Trail is only a 1 mile round trip. It gains a little bit shy of 200 feet of elevation. There are some drop-offs on this trail. Most of them are fenced or have railings. And so I do like to bring my kids on this trail. It feels super adventurous because you're right along the cliffs. There's bridges you walk on that are like bolted into the cliffs. And so it's really fun. It feels really adventurous. But you will want to keep your kids close to you just to make sure that they stay safe. The Canyon Overlook Trail is one of those areas in Zion that just stays really busy for most of the day. But if you're wanting help getting parking in these really small, hard to get parking lots here in Zion, then definitely click on over to Dirt in My Shoes and check out the Zion Itinerary. So to get to the Canyon Overlook Trail, you'll drive along Highway 9 here, and then you'll cut over towards the east side of the park. You'll go through the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel, and then right as you come out of the tunnel, you'll see the parking for the Canyon Overlook Trail. Number 6, Checkerboard Mesa. Checkerboard Mesa is a really cool formation that a lot of people just don't even see when they're in Zion because it's in the less visited part of the park. But it's really fun to drive out here to see the Checkerboard Mesa and to experience the east side of Zion while you're here. Checkerboard Mesa has a really unique checkerboard pattern that was created by wind and water, and so it's really fun to come out here and see just how beautiful this side of the park is and to see this interesting formation. What I like about visiting Checkerboard Mesa is that you're traveling the east side of the park. Bighorn sheep like to hang out around here. The scenery is totally different than what you've already seen in the park so far, and so it's really fun to drive out here and to experience a different side of Zion National Park. You'll find Checkerboard Mesa along Highway 9 as you work your way to the east side. Then there's a parking lot right here just before you go out of the east entrance. Number 7, Angel's Landing. So if you know anything about Zion National Park, then you've probably heard of its most famous trail, which is Angel's Landing. Angel's Landing towers above Zion Canyon. It's this huge monolith, this beautiful red rock formation that you can hike to the top of. And it's very challenging. It's really adventurous because you're hiking up switchbacks and then you get up to where you're preparing to summit. And the last half mile of it, you're holding onto chains that are bolted into the side of the rock and trying not to fall down the cliffs on either side of you. So it's really exciting. It's really fun. A lot of people come to Zion just to hike Angel's Landing. You will want to note that a permit is required to hike the chains portion of the Angel's Landing Trail. And so if you're hoping to do the entire trail and make it all the way to the top of Angel's Landing, then you will need a permit to do so. If you don't care about hiking the chains or you just want to get a taste of the trail, then you can hike up most of the way, still get some great views, and not have to worry about the permit system. The trailhead for Angel's Landing is located in Zion Canyon, so you will need to take the mandatory park shuttle, and you'll disembark here at the grotto and then cross the street, and you'll find the trail to Angel's Landing right there. Number 8, the Court of the Patriarchs. This is just a really fast, simple stop in Zion. You actually don't even need to get off the shuttle if you don't want, but it is a fun way to see the monoliths that are famous in Zion National Park. So these 3 prominent and recognizable sentinels are named after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob from the Bible. And this is just the quintessential beautiful red rock views that you'll get in Zion. And it's a really fun place to photograph. You can see the view from the shuttle as it drives by. If you'd like a better photo, you can get out and take a short walk to get above the tree line. But either way, it's just something to notice as you're traveling through the park. The Court of the Patriarchs is located in Zion Canyon. It's its own stop right here. And so you can just get off the shuttle here, or again, just take a look at it as you drive by. Number 9, the Paw Roost Trail. The Paw Roost Trail is a beautiful introduction into the scenery of Zion. It's a really good trail for all ages and abilities, and so it's a good place to spend your time if you're hoping to get oriented in the park. The word Paw Roost is a Paiute Native American word for bubbling water, and you basically follow the Virgin River for the majority of this trail. This is the only trail in Zion that allows pets on a leash and bicycles, and so you'll want to keep that in mind if you're looking for an option for one of those things. It's also paved and wheelchair accessible, so it makes it really good for people of all ages, all abilities, whatever you want to do on this trail. It's a really good multi-use trail in Zion. The Paw Roost Trail is about 3.5 miles round trip, but you can cut it in half by taking the Zion shuttle. And so if you want to just hike up or bike up one way, then you can catch the shuttle at the end and take it back to your car. So it makes it really nice to get good views of Zion, good views of the river, and it's not too long and it's not too challenging. So you'll find this Paw Roost Trail, it's not really marked on this map, but basically you'll start right around the South Campground and you'll just follow the river all the way up to Canyon Junction is where it ends. And so what I like to do is park at the Zion Canyon Visitor Center, walk across the street, catch the trail up here, and then when I get to the end, I'll take the shuttle from Canyon Junction back down to the Visitor Center. And number 10, the Narrows. So I mentioned Angel's Landing being one of the most popular trails in Zion. The Narrows is the other most popular trail in Zion. And so this is something that you'll definitely want to do if you can. It is an amazing experience in this national park. Okay, so the Narrows is not really a trail. It's just you hiking in the river up into a beautiful slot canyon. And so it's really adventurous, it's really fun, it's unique, and it's just one of those experiences in Zion that you'll really want to have if you're hoping to get a good taste of what this park is all about. To hike the Narrows, you will be wading or swimming in the river for the majority of the hike. And so there is gear that you'll want to take with you or rent. It's really important that you have the right gear with you, or the trail just can be miserable. You'll also want to note that because you're hiking in the river, you'll need to keep a really close eye on the water levels and the weather. This area is prone to flash flooding, which is really scary. You don't want to be in this river during a flash flood. You'll also not be able to hike if the water levels are too high. And so typically the Narrows do close down during spring runoff, which is like April and May, because the water levels just are too high and very unsafe. And so you'll want to keep an eye on that, keep that in mind as you're planning your trip, especially if you're really hoping to hike this trail. I have a very detailed hiking guide to the Narrows in Zion, and so I will walk you through everything that you need, which route to take, what permits you might need, what gear to take with you, how to check the water levels. All of that is available on Dirt in My Shoes. To hike the Narrows, you'll catch the Zion shuttle up into Zion Canyon, and you'll take it all the way to the end here to the Temple of Sinawava. And then you'll begin hiking on the Riverside Walk. You'll take the Riverside Walk all the way to the end. And then from there are some stairs that lead down into the Virgin River. And that's where you'll start hiking in the river up into the Narrows. If you can get through this list of 10 things, then you will have an incredible trip to Zion National Park. If you need any help planning your trip to Zion, including how to get there, how many days to stay, full planned out itinerary schedule, things to do for all abilities and all ages, then you will find all of that information over on Dirt in My Shoes, where I can walk you through making your Zion trip a reality. I hope that you have an amazing time. I hope you get some dirt in your shoes, and I hope that you're able to have huge adventures in Zion National Park.